This episode of AnimeCons TV is sponsored by Funimation and Cat Planet Cuties. In this episode, Elizabeth and Shiva talk about adult programming. We all talk about our first time at a convention. And we announce a new contest to win a copy of Cat Planet Cuties. That's all coming up on AnimeCons TV.
So one of the things we'd like to see more anime conventions do is have more adult programming.
Right, and by adult program we don't mean, sex and
not that
hentai
type of adult programming. We know that they're dominated by teenagers and, young adults, but there is, the programming that's hentai and things like that. But there's a lot of popular panels and things at conventions that aren't necessarily around porn, swearing. So one thing that I like is Anime Boston and another anime convention up in Nashua have both started a 21 plus lounge for older fans where they can get something to drink and they can socialize with fans who are their age.
Right, instead of having to interact with all the teenagers. And I think maybe adult program's the wrong word for it, and maybe it's more mature programming. And that it's not being aimed at an audience where it's restricted for language or content so much as that it's aimed at a different demographic as far as intellectual maybe pursuit. So socializing with people of your own age who aren't necessarily all high school kids or college kids, but have adult experiences. Also, another thing that a lot of conventions have added is more paneling that is aimed at adults. Mm-hmm. So instead of necessarily talking about your favorite anime or things like that, they're geared more towards academic.
Adult and academic. Not necessarily adult things like those, but more academic and history and art and things like that help anime be as wonderful as a medium or art form as it is, mm-hmm. such as bringing in an Asian history professor to talk about what Japan was really like during the time of Kenshin and Inuyasha. Mm-hmm. It would be really interesting to find out what how samurai actually behaved at KatsuCon. Their halftime show in the Masquerade was someone doing a samurai sword demonstration, which was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Or even things like historical music or putting things into a cultural context. Even maybe the evolution of anime as an art form mm-hmm. as opposed to maybe other modern art forms or even as compared to other animation and things like that, so that they're talking about something maybe you'd expect to hear at some other kind of, not a sci-fi convention, but right. maybe like a literary convention or something like that.
Right. Providence Anime Conference did a good job of that. If you were out in the hallways while there were panels going on, there was no one in the hallway mm-hmm. because everyone was in panels because they had an amazing panel lineup of all sorts of different things that were more adult-oriented because it was a 21-plus convention. And you see that at some sci-fi conventions, too, where you see more adult-type programming, but it's not adult programming. Mm-hmm. I think that doing that will give older attendees something new to check out because sometimes, we are unfortunately older than most of the attendees now at anime conventions, and some of the programming where it's like, while we love Full Metal Alchemist, we don't want to go to a panel where they're screaming who's better and which person they like and how their fanfic is this person and that. No.
Right.
We'd like to learn about, maybe the behind all the symbolism in Full Metal Alchemist.
Or maybe the science of alchemy, because it was considered a serious science, mm-hmm. In the past.
And the themes of, the seven sins, how that's used in Full Alchemist. Mm-hmm. That would be really cool. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, we should do that. Or like the seven sins throughout literary history.
Yeah. Oh, now we're getting ideas.
I know, right? Okay.
To Wikipedia!
But in any case, I mean, I think it's a gap that a lot of conventions can fill. I think a lot of conventions do suffer from somewhat repetitive programming when it comes year to year, and that they're looking for something to do that's a little more variety. And instead of maybe expanding into other genres, because we've talked a little about conventions starting to get away from anime just because it's been done, but perhaps just more of a different demographic or a different angle to approach the material.
Right. So conventions, if you want to keep your older fans happy, not only, they like to drink, not everybody, but, a good lounge type atmosphere is a great thing to have. The con will like that. The hotel will like that too, because then they get more money. But defy the notion that adult programming is only sex and swearing. Give your older fans something new and interesting to do, instead of being bored because they don't want to go to panels aimed at fangirls.
I think it's something
we don't
like
fangirls. Well,
and
they're a little annoying.
Something with substance. And I think that also maybe adults that accompany their children would enjoy it. And then you could even argue it's educational.
Yeah. Going to a con is educational.
Very educational.
Make them educational.
We thought it might be a fun experience to talk about our first anime convention. And mine was actually Anime Expo 2000. I was invited out with my friend Liz, who you may know from the Chibi Project, and we wanted to, just go have some fun as anime fans. And she told me, well, a lot of people dress up in costumes, so you should probably come up with a costume. We're going to have costumes. So I talked to a coworker, and we put together a mediocre Fario costume from Magic Knight Rayearth, and went out there and had a blast, and just went downhill from there. Now I've gone to over 100 conventions, started 2 of them, and have a whole website. Who'd have thought? But yeah, it's all because of my first anime convention.
So my first convention experience was Otakon 2004. I used to be part of this website called The New Final Fantasy, and we had a pretty tight-knit online group there, and my friend Holly was going to Otakon, and she asked if I wanted to. So I booked the flight and went down to Otakon. I made 3 crappy costumes with my mom leading up to it beforehand, and it was a blast seeing all these costumes and just the whole atmosphere of people wearing different things and going to panels about different things. And I wasn't that into anime at the time. I was more into video games, but the one group I did know was Larkin CL, and they played at Otakon, which was absolutely fantastic. And from there, I didn't go to a con for a couple more years, but it was a lot of fun to get into it, going a huge convention in Baltimore for my first time in an AnimeCon.
My first anime convention was Otakon 2001. I had never been to a convention before, and there's a lovely program guide for it. And I just had wanted to go for a little while, and it just happened that my brother was living in Baltimore at the time, and I said, hey, I would really want to check this out. And we went for Friday, and I had an absolute blast. And I've gone to every Otakon since then. It's kind of at this point become a tradition for me. I don't know what summer would be without Otakon. And it's the only time I've ever gone to an anime convention that I've gone for one day, and I will never do that again.
My first anime convention was actually Anime Boston 2005. I'd wanted to go since 2003 when it first started, but I had stuff to do, so I couldn't go. So I finally got to go in 2005, and I dragged one of my college friends. She had no idea what any of this stuff was about, but she was a good sport. And I said, let's just go for the day. So we went the first day, and I dressed up as Renoa from FF8, and I forced her into clothes from the closet to look like Alone from the same video game, so we would match. And we had a really good time. We saw all these awesome costumes, and I actually took a picture of 5 different people, and I later on became friends with all of them, and I'm dating one of them. So it was a good way to test it out. Just went for the day, and then the next year I signed up and went for the whole weekend and completely got into it. So
my first AnimeCons experience, that would be Anime Boston 2003. Never been to an AnimeCon before, and my friend, childhood friend, was like, oh, come on, let's go. It's the first one in Boston. They don't have one out here. And we go, I learn everything about a dealer's room, AMV contests, stuff like that. And they're like, let's go to a signing. And they had Scott McNeil. And Scott McNeil is known for being Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. Well, there's also an AMV of Piccolo singing I'm a Cucumber. And someone dubbed him singing I'm a Cucumber. So I went to the signing and I gave him a jar of pickles. I still have that jar of pickles. It says I'm a Cucumber, Scott McNeil.
Do I get to meet this girl? Tell me what she's like.
Well, to be totally honest, she's a little bit strange.
Pleased to meet you. My name is Aries.
Hey, just who or what are you?
I'm an alien researching the planet that you people live on. We journeyed into space to give other races a peek at our culture and to get an eyeful of theirs. We're really hoping that if we show you ours, you'll show us yours.
I do know boys are very curious at your age, but this fake cat girl fetish is quite odd.
I'm not fake. Go ahead. Feel.
Technically speaking, for the moment at least, the Kakuzu residence is serving as the provisional Cadian embassy.
Cute, that's great.
You two got hot and heavy last night, didn't you? What a perfect little stud muffin you've become. Was it a night of unbridled passion?
You've got a dirty mind, you know that?
Having an alien around must make you nervous. I wouldn't want to have to compete with her.
I know, right? A sexy alien cat girl? That's basically like winning the nerd lottery.
Earth belongs to the dogs. We marked our territory by coming to you first. If they think they can prance in like they own the place, they've got another thing coming.
No fooling around, got it? Oh, except for a little hanky-panky with Kyo. We're totally okay with that. Kyo, let's breed.
Where did you learn this stuff from?
Oh, I read it in one of those magazines you hide under your bed, Kyo.
Whoa, Kyo, you naughty boy, you!
So that was the preview of Cat Planet Cuties, a new release from Funimation. And we are actually going to have a contest on AnimeCons TV. It will be a forum contest where we'd like you to go on our forums and submit your favorite part of the segment, of any segment that we've done on AnimeCons TV. And in the next episode, we'll have 3 winners. And what do the 3 winners get?
They get their own copy of Cat Planet Cuties, coming out in May.
So, very good. But just remember, we can send the prizes to you. We cannot accept entries that are outside the U.S. or Canada. Sorry for our European friends. And just go to this URL right here and post on our forums. What's your favorite segment? Voicemails! Yep, it's probably gonna be Movie Phone Guy, right? Movie Phone Guy.
Yeah.
It's always Movie Phone Guy. Play it, Sam.
Just letting you know that I sent you something very, very special. I hope you enjoy. Have a great day.
Where'd that come from?
But that. Well, there's no air holes, so I'm hoping it's something not alive.
You open it.
Oh my god, peanuts!
Don't do that! You have a fan.
Oh, there's a letter in here. Dear Sketch, it has recently come to my attention that you don't have an actual Misty figure. Your problems are over. Treat her well. I hear there may be Gundams watching.
It's all yours, dude. Treat her well.
Damn you, movie phone guy.
Next, and it's on yard sale.
What, $5 I could get for this? $5.
I say
All right.
6.
Thank you. So, to contact us or drop us a line at podcasts@animecons.tv or call us at 762-ADDICATE.
It's a local call in Augusta, Georgia.
Oh, it is. Sorry, that's 762-ADDIQUATE, 762-233-7828. And you can find links on our Twitter, Facebook, Google+. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Foursquare profiles at the bottom of our homepage at animecons.com or fancons.com. Next month, Anime Boston Report.
Yay! So much work to do.
There's no red light. Oh, there's a red light. Yay! Yay! We should name it.
Phil.
Blinky.
Rudolph.
Blinky.
Wally. What do you win?